I was laying in the back of an Uber just now, just being like, I don't know.
What made you show up?
The fear of you.
That's the general consensus lately, the fear of Trish.
Yeah, imagine if I didn't come, like the text he would have sent.
Okay, what's up you guys? Today I'm going to be doing a very different video for me, and that is talking about ex-boyfriends. Usually I don't like to get into drama of past relationships, but you know, we're gonna try it today. But don't worry, these are not recent boyfriends or ex-boyfriends. I think I've talked about my last few boyfriends plenty. Today I have commentary off camera from my best friend who has known me since I was 18 years old. He is from Boston. I feel like it's the dating game. He's from Boston, and he basically has been my best friend for a long time, and I feel like most of our friendship was spent on the phone because you lived in Boston, I lived in LA, and I felt like we just talked for hours. Remember we talked for like 5 hours a night, you know?
That was pretty good.
I don't know what happened to that. I guess you just like, I don't know, get busy. I was 18, I had nothing better to do, so I guess that's why. We met on my...
I was like 23, so I didn't have much to do.
We met on MySpace, which is like kind of a social media app. Back in the day, I was doing YouTube at the time, but nowhere near what I'm doing now. But basically, we would talk on the phone for hours, and I feel like the majority of that was me talking about my relationships. I remember when I moved back with my dad, there was like issues of like people showing up at my dad's house. So I have a lot of crazy boyfriends, and he's experienced it with me. So you're gonna chime in on your expertise and what I did wrong in a relationship, and if I'm the crazy one. Do you think I'm crazy in relationships?
No, of course not.
Are you being serious or are you being facetious?
Well, I don't see you as crazy when we hang out.
And we've hung out quite a bit, right? We have been...
That is correct.
BFFs.
I mean, you have told me some things that probably would go into the category of questionable judgment.
Wait, name one. What's something that I tell you that I was questionable judgment that I've done?
Well, first dating half the people you've even dated. I jumped right out to that. Have you had like a couple of meltdowns?
A few.
Yeah.
You don't watch my videos, right?
No, not really.
So I feel like this is someone who actually knows the real me, doesn't watch my videos. My sister is also here, she can chime in. We're not gonna say any names, obviously, to protect the not so innocent. All right, let's start with boyfriend number one. I would say the first guy that I was like in love with. And that is the person I already whispered. We tried to do this earlier and that didn't work. Okay, so he was an actor. I met him when I was 18. He was in his 40s.
Good age.
Okay, so basically what went wrong with this relationship is he just cheated a lot. Basically, I don't think we were exclusive, but I thought we were exclusive. I don't know, do you remember any details of this relationship, or is it all just a blur because it was literally 13 years ago?
I remember that there weren't there situations of which like pieces of lighting, like lamps and things were moved,
thrown at me
across the room.
Oh yeah,
in your direction.
Did I tell you that? See, this is how I know we were close, because I feel like I wouldn't have said that to just anybody. What did you say to it? Were you like, oh, that's like normal? Or were you like, oh, it's not good?
No, it's like, what are you doing? You used to tell me that he used to just like threaten to kick, like he would like just trash shit, and then the neighbor would come over and be like, excuse me, is there anything wrong here? Like, yeah, what's wrong? Your face is gonna get fucking smashed. So like he'd threaten to kick everyone's asses.
Yeah,
probably
that is
including
true.
Mine.
Yeah, he did not like you because we would like talk a lot.
And
which is crazy.
Do you remember exactly what he referred to me as? Which is repeated amongst my friends.
No. No.
Movies. And so when we go back and look at, you don't remember that?
No.
He called me a steroid pumping douche.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The fact that guy called me a steroid pumping douche. First of all, he was definitely on roids at some point.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, I don't know whether he was working out, but he was definitely acting like he was on roids, because you told me he just wanted to fight and smash everything.
Yeah, he did want to fight and smash everything.
So yeah, that's what I remember.
But I felt like you were like entertained by it. Like I felt like you like thought it was like interesting, or you thought he was interesting. Not entertained by the fact that he was like throwing lamps at me, but like more like entertained in like the situation.
Well, I mean, I guess it was more interesting than like I came home and Harvey and I made a Swanson's frozen dinner and like watched Jeopardy and went to sleep, you know?
Who's Harvey?
Just someone I made up. I just mean, like,
Oh.
it's not like just a regular, like, yeah, we like watched TV and went to sleep. I mean, this is like the guy went crazy. It's just like, I'm talking to his ex-girlfriend, like, on the phone. We're now conspiring, like, with each other
Yeah.
to, like, destroy his life, you know, or, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Because she saw, oh my
Yeah.
God, this girl came in for Memorial Day weekend, and I went over Memorial Day weekend night. So I hadn't seen him Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday on Memorial Day, but the Memorial Day weekend, he was like dressed up in a suit or whatever, and I went to his house and he was all dressed up in a suit. Anyways, the next morning he took a picture of me like naked in front of these like flowers, these like plants on his balcony, and the girl was like, I helped him plant those flowers that weekend, and I was like, what? Oh yeah, and she was like, yeah, she like was kind of actually ended up being kind of
She was on
crazy.
the East Coast or something, right?
Yes, and she had kids and like a house in like New Jersey.
And she was, like, normal.
Yeah, she was like cool. She was
And
actually
then
really
when you were
cool.
talking, I mean, it was just like this, like, these personal stories were themselves just like a soap opera.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's pretty exciting, actually.
I was really excited to help her out too and talk to her because I was just like, this guy, at that point, I was like, this guy is the worst. Oh, this is kind of a fun one. Not fun, and I definitely didn't date this guy long term, but do you remember?
Did you have long hair?
Yeah, man.
Back in the, like, way back?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
This guy kind of looked like Marilyn Manson. I can say that. I think.
And the thing is like, did he not have a friend who pulled like a Carter Hayes on you? Like stayed at your apartment and like refused to leave or something like that? And you were just like...
Yes. Yes.
One thing about like great news stories is always just like, well, like, I don't know. I mean, it's like he borrowed my car and just like hasn't returned it in 5 years. But I felt like uncomfortable to like ask him if like, you know, can I have it back? So I was just like hoping he'll return it one day. Remember like shit like that where you would just tell me these things where you were just being,
Yeah.
it wasn't even accommodating. You were just like letting these fucking people just walk all over. It's like, yeah, he crashed in my house. And I don't know. It's just like he isn't paying rent. It's like he leaves his toenails on the coffee table. It's just like my... You know, he's farted all over the couch.
Granted, at the time, my apartment didn't have a doorknob, so it's not like I could charge rent because like it did not have a doorknob.
Say it again?
My apartment didn't have a doorknob at the time that person was like staying with me.
Oh, so it's just like any person who just like wanted to just crash at your place would just like walk in because you were like, I could get out if it had no doorknob.
Well, also I liked the company, but yes, I do remember that. Like,
Yeah, I remember that guy. And then I think you told me that he...
What?
I was gonna try and cheat tactic to drag somebody else into this.
Who?
Huh?
Her?
Yeah.
Wait, about him?
Yeah, I was just gonna say he farted in her face, and I was gonna see if she had to defend
Not
herself.
true. That part is not true. I was like,
She
wait.
refuses to talk. So the thing is that it's like not true. Everyone.
Yeah, and I just was, I kind of.
Stop it, Jeff.
I kind of was in love with that guy. I mean, we didn't date, but I kind of was like in love with him.
Wait a minute, and on top of it, you told me there's been like 3 girls. I think you told me that he had had sex with somebody that I like thought was like one of the hottest chicks on the planet.
From like back in the day.
Yeah, from like when I was like in my 20s. She
Yeah.
was like a teenager or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pervert and I like teenage girls. Whatever. I was like only like 4 years older than her.
Yeah.
She was on a TV show. I remember that because
Yeah.
I was really mad. Because I was like, this guy's fucking not even hot.
You think that about a lot of guys, though. You think there's a lot of like attractive women that are with not hot-looking guys.
Yeah.
But
like-
some people would argue he was really hot because he was a rock star. Some people would argue that he was really hot because back in the day he looked like Steven Tyler, and now he kind of looks like Marilyn Manson. So a lot of people would think those are 2 hot rock stars.
Well, sure. But again, this is like one of these things that's really like a one... Like, that only really works like men to women, not like like women to men and not men to women.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like if you're like a rock star and you're a chick and you're not hot, a guy doesn't want to fuck you really. But if you're just a rock star and you're just fucking ugly as can be, like millions of girls want to fuck you. Like
Yeah.
I know like hot girls who have like banged like hardcore, like just super disgusting guys that,
Because they're a rock star.
well actually they're rappers, but and they didn't use rappers if you know what I mean.
Oh, did they get
More
pregnant?
weird. I think I'm eating pigeon. What is this? So this is not white meat. Actual white meat is black. I'm going to sue this place. So the other thing was that so he would stay at your apartment, And I thought that there was somebody else there who like came over and never left, like some buddy of his or
Yes.
something. It was like crashing in the same bed with you.
Well, I only had an air mattress, so like he would like share the air mattress.
With just you? Or
Yes.
you and your sister? You try and fondle your sister?
No, my sister was not involved with this. She
And-
was back home. She was back in Michigan at this time.
So what didn't something else happen where you had like inherited or had like a second house that someone had moved into at the top or something weird?
That was babe. No, that was the guy I just said I had to cut his name out. That was the guy I just said his house. But this time, at that time, he still was alive. That wasn't until later.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, so then we had that reminds me though. Remember?
I think I remember the name, but I don't know if I know who it was, which is going to be hard now because you can't describe who it is.
I'll say his name and then I'll cut.
I saw what you said. I don't remember who it is.
Oh.
Why do I not know who that is?
My sister's trying to do charades.
I get it.
You don't remember him?
No.
Well, this is an interesting. Oh, I can't tell the story. My sister will get mad at me. There is a story involving my sister, but okay. My sister's
is that
going
the
now.
one?
Nothing bad. It's nothing bad, but okay. Do you remember that story? I'll share like a relatively not scandalous one. No, when you were 13, when we tried to sneak you into the club. Okay, so.
We're going to give a relatively not scandalous one. I like
No,
that.
it wasn't that scandalous because technically it was an 18 plus club and it was like an all ages thing. And we literally, okay, well it was weird because I knew this guy, we were hooking up, I met him on MySpace. And we literally like, I don't know, he invited us to the show, but I guess we had to pay still. Yeah, so we had to take my roll of quarters that we had for my laundry because my mom like gave me quarters when she was out for like laundry. We took the roll of quarters and paid to get in, even though I knew the guy and I was like hooking up with him. And I was like, that I thought was kind of like weird. Do you remember that story or no? What stories did I tell you
I
about
just remember you had dirty clothes for the next couple of weeks.
him? Well, I had dirty clothes for a long time.
Because you had no money for your laundry anymore. I don't remember this guy. I remember the name, but we can't say.
Yeah, he was really early on.
Was that before the guy with the long black hair who was a...
Same time.
Overlapping relationship.
Well,
maybe that's why that didn't work out.
they weren't
Wait, Were they
relationships.
friends with each other?
Yeah.
Was he the guy who crashed at your place?
No, it was another friend. It was their singer of like,
Mm-hmm.
like a new band they formed. So basically I was obsessed with like rock stars. I have a whole video about like rock stars that I like. And when I say rock stars, this was not Axl Rose and Slash. This was like, you don't know these rock stars. They were like fake rock stars, but they looked like Guns N' Roses, but they definitely weren't, kind of thing. But there was a time that I like dated a personal assistant to a rock star. Do you remember him?
Mm-hmm. Was he from Massachusetts or some...
Yes.
Had some ties in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And he was the one who like seemed like he was the nicest.
He was the nicest, and he's the one I
He
regret.
seemed like sort of normal.
Yeah, I regret not going with him. I just thought I could do better at the time, and like I always regretted that because he wanted to get married and have kids, and like that's like my dream now. But I was only like 18 at the time, so or maybe I was like 20. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you were older than 18.
Yeah, but I was like 21 or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
you were in your early 20s. But it's also like a person in their early 20s usually doesn't want what they want in their like early 30s
Yeah.
or 40s.
Yeah,
So-
but like I wish I would have met him now because that would have been like perfect. He was so nice to me. He paid for everything. He like even paid me to like sit at his house when he would like be busy working. He's like just sit at my house for a day for $100 and like wait for the cable person to come or something. Like he was really cool, really sweet. He like had a really cool job and like took me to meet like the person he was a personal assistant to. Like he was really, really cool. I don't think there was anything bad with him.
No, he was like the first one that was really normal after a string of just like weird, weird people that you dated.
I know who you're talking about that stayed at my house and wouldn't leave. This other guy. Do you remember? I'll say his name. I'll cut it and then
I
say
don't remember the name, I remember the story.
about him. Like he stayed at my house and he was also like he like was like, chucking like beer bottles out my window at like people down below. Do you remember that? He like took my air conditioning and like chucked it on someone like trying to kill someone like passing by.
Well, you know, there used to be famous stories about rock stars throwing TVs out of hotel windows.
Yeah, but he wasn't a rock star.
It's like, he was just just a lunatic. He just hated bottles and TV sets and air conditioners.
He wasn't a rock star. He was like, he looked like Johnny Depp. Don't you remember? Do you remember him or not? 'Cause I remember him like,
I remember the story. I mean, well, he looked like Johnny Depp was not bad, but Johnny Depp's pretty attractive.
No, he was really attractive, and we were like exclusive right away. He's like, I want you to be my girlfriend. We're in love. You know, like those guys who say that they're in love with you and they want you to be their girlfriend, like in the first day you meet them.
I do that. Mm-hmm.
You gotta steer clear of those people. Should you be on here with me? I feel like you're so far over there.
I am. Well, I'm eating lunch.
Oh, it doesn't look like it looks like you're done.
Whatever. So yeah. So what else?
Okay, so he was the one, he also stayed at my house for a prolonged period of time. And then, but when I got sick, kind of, do you remember when I got sick? When I went to like the hospital and I moved back with my dad?
I remember when you were at your dad's and someone showed up there like late at night and your dad was like, what the fuck is going on?
That was...
Yes.
Yes, okay. So that was him. And he showed up and my dad was like pissed. Oh my god, do you remember?
First of all, your dad was just going to be pissed even if the guy was like, because wasn't he broke?
Who? This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, so broke.
He was like broke and like mooching off of you and blah, blah, blah.
Even though I had no money, he was still mooching off me, so like people were mooching off me before I had money.
And meanwhile, just from his like appearance, I don't think your dad was going to be necessarily completely psyched.
He basically was like an aging Marilyn Manson, basically. Yeah, he showed up at my dad's house and my dad was so pissed and he was like, but I remember he was like being kind of sweet, like, that's my girl inside, you got my girl inside that house. I remember that. I don't remember much.
You were like trapped against your will or something?
Kind of, but this was during my gin drinking days when I had a bottle of gin next to my bed. Remember I told you the story last? I don't know. I used to drink a bottle of like gin before I go to bed. It was really weird. I don't know why I did that, but so maybe I did call him and like made it more distressed than I was because like I didn't get along with my dad too much at the time. So maybe I did call him and act like I was distressed, but not like I'm being held against my will.
Yeah, that's true. Because I remember,
What, you remember what?
Well, your dad sounded like he was like very authoritarian and rigid in those days. Probably because you just
he was
crazy and he wouldn't sanction your insane activities. Moving in with rock stars who like didn't leave for months on end.
I know, and I used to threaten my dad like, I'm gonna just go ahead and go get married to an old guy. He's like, okay, and then like nobody wanted to marry me, and I was just like, oh, okay, that didn't work, that backfired. Okay, so then I moved out of my dad's again and moved to Hollywood. This is where, or moved back to Hollywood, technically the Valley. This is where we had a green futon that you stayed at a couple times. My mom and sister were out there, permanently. Is that
the building where I used to see porn stars in the elevator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
that place you ever lived.
This is the porn star connection now. So, do you remember that porn star I dated? I didn't date him. I hooked up with him. I did that. No. What did I have to tell you? We're not talking. I'm trying to think. I feel like that was at that apartment. Maybe not. Okay, you don't remember him. I'm trying to think of the other people I dated at this time. Still seeing the assistant casually, but not exclusively. So I was doing the rock star period mostly when we were friends. I guess the other one, but I feel like we didn't talk much about him, was... Did we talk about him a lot or no?
We did.
And what did I say about him? Because I know what I think in my head and what I've said about him, like, publicly, but was I, like, in love with him? Was I like, he a good guy? Did it come across to you that he was a good guy? This is not what I would consider the second boyfriend.
I would say that he wasn't a terrible guy. He just didn't seem like he wasn't like really interested in taking the relationship past like a certain point, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't like mean or like a dick like some of these other. I mean, he wasn't really sort of weird people.
But did you like think like,
When I say he wasn't a dick, I mean,
he had a good one.
He had that I was aware of. That I remember you mentioning repeatedly.
To you, I did.
Yeah, she used to tell me all the time.
Yeah, he was pretty amazing. Did you ever meet him? Like, did you know him?
No, I've never met him.
Even outside of me, did you meet him?
No, I haven't.
Oh. Well, he was really nice. And
but I know it'll be an awkward, I know it'll be fun, like, I'll have a strange internal dialogue. if I actually do meet him in person. Meanwhile, he'll have no idea that I know all these like things about him.
He knew about you. Like, all these guys knew about you. Because, like, I feel like we posted pictures a lot. Like, my other boyfriends were, like, posting pictures or anything like that with me, so I posted us a lot. So I feel like they thought, I don't know. But the final one, do you remember? I don't know if you remember. This kind of, like, brings it up to speed.
Well, I remember
What? Not to speed up, like, recently, but speed up the last one that you remember.
The thing is I don't remember whether, like, if you dated this guy or whatever, but it was probably in the history of all the stories that you told me related to any guys or whatever, it was the greatest story I've ever heard.
Which one?
You told me that I think you said you were dating somebody, and we won't say who it is, and that they came over to your house, took a chair, turned it around, and sat and stared at the corner or something like that for like 2 hours or like an hour.
Oh my god, how do you remember this story?
Because every time I used to walk into your old place at the beach, I would just look at that corner and be like, that fucking guy sat in that corner and was just like talking to himself or just like, give me a minute. And then didn't he sit in a corner for 45 minutes and turned around as if like no time had passed?
Yes.
It was like the weirdest thing in the world.
Wait, did I tell you more about him or was that my only like thing? Because I saw him again recently.
Really? Because he didn't he, who was it that when you were living at the beach was relatively, had a place close by? Was it him?
Yes.
Okay.
He lived like right next door, but he also had a house.
But here's the thing. That guy is so weird. Seriously?
No, he was, but have you met, did you ever meet him?
No.
Okay,
But
we're
I
getting a
am
little
sort
more
of obsessed
close.
with him. I mean,
Okay.
not because I want to have sex with them. Am I on camera now?
Yeah. You've
Um,
been on camera before. I just feel like it's weird if you're like off camera.
I feel like it's weird like I'm always joking on Indian bread.
Okay.
So, well, you know how like I'm weird and I like weird people?
Yeah.
Of course.
He was great. I really liked him. He just wasn't interested in like, he's another actor that I feel like I've talked
his
about.
two of the things that he did in his career were two of the most ludicrous, funny things I've ever seen in my entire life. One was a movie that he was in, the other was an original thing that he had done. I know you know both of what I'm talking about.
Yes.
In fact, I still have a picture.
The music video? Are you talking about that music video?
Yeah, and I have a picture of him actually on my phone to this day. When there's a certain person who calls me, and when they call me, a picture of him in that movie comes up, which is like one of the stupidest movies of all time. But here's the thing: it's like I really want to do stuff like that. That's all I want to do.
Just go into people's houses.
Hold on, you wait a minute, and then go into a corner, sit there for an hour, and then turn around like nothing happened. So when people actually do stuff like that, it makes me. I feel so liberated.
He is that one person who is like even weirder in real life. Like he is an actor that goes on like talk shows and has like is like weird. Like he's a weird person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you know people think it's a shtick or a troll, but like he's actually weirder in real life. I loved him. Oh my god, I actually texted him and DM'd him after each breakup because like we never like officially dated. We kind of just always came back around.
I think this video could be the start of rekindling this romance.
Could you imagine I ended up marrying him? Last time I saw him, it was really, really weird. I went to his house, and I don't know if I got like fatter or older or uglier, but like we talked for a few hours, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm getting tired. Do you want me to get you an Uber home?" Like before we ever hooked up or anything, because like our thing was like we would hook up. We'd like sometimes go on dates. Huh?
Wait, when did you say that?
Okay, so this was like
You were just like, hey, why don't you come over? He came over, and 2 minutes later, he's like, listen, I'm really tired. Why don't you?
kind of, yeah. So it was like New Year's Eve, like
That's
2018,
amazing.
like yeah, New Year's Eve 2018. So I was like going through it. I was like in between whatever, and so I DM'd him, and he's like, "Would you like to come over?" And he's like, "I can get you an Uber." And I was like, "Yeah." Well, anyways, no, I was over there for a good like 2 hours, like talking and like catching up, and he was cool. But then he was like, "All right, I'm getting tired. You should probably go." Like I thought he was gonna maybe make a move on me or something, because that's usually what we do. So what does that imply? That he's just like not into me? Like did I get uglier? Like have you ever had that happen where you like saw a hookup from like 10 years ago and you're like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna hook up, and then you see them and you're like, ooh, I'm not attracted to this person anymore.
Yes, but not in a setting where I'm alone with the person, and you know.
Oh, like you
I might have seen somebody like, yeah,
you thought you were gonna hook up
like
with
in public, and been like, wow, I used to think this chick was totally hot, and then I'll see her and be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's what he thought with me. I think that was the situation, because he's just like, okay, I'll get you an Uber back. I was like, oh. I came over at midnight on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. It was a weird situation. But yeah, speaking of, that takes us to our, well, not our final, but one.
No. What was our final?
Do you remember the guy, you were staying with me when I had that other house, that like big house, and you were staying with me, and he would come over. And I was like, remember I told you, like, don't come upstairs.
Your Pepto-Bismol car days?
Yeah, and I was like, don't come upstairs because I don't want him to know that you're like down there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was like living like a monster, like in the basement of a fucking opera house. And you were like, do not come upstairs.
Yeah, wait, right? You remember that? Or am I just like dreaming that I said that to you?
No,
So like
you did.
basically Jeff was staying with me and I really liked it because again, this house was really creepy. I like got broken into a lot. Like it was a creepy house. It was just had a weird vibe to it. And so Jeff came and stayed with me for a little bit and he was like, there was like 4 like floors and like the bottom floor like I had never been in. It was just boxes and like a spare bed kind of. And do you remember the guy? Do you remember like, do you know anything about that person? Because I was like kind of dating someone during that time and I was like really scared that because when I started dating him I was like, yeah, I live in this house by myself. But then all of a sudden Jeff was like living with me and it was just like an awkward thing to bring up. Like, oh, Austin, I have like a guy living here. He thought and I was thinking he thinks maybe I like lied to him or something. So I was like trying to keep you like a secret.
Well, there was somebody during that time period that I met. But that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about
You
who,
did?
Yeah.
No.
You weren't dating the person
Oh,
yet.
no, not that guy.
So, was he an actor?
Yes.
Do you have guns at his house?
No.
Did
He's
you-
somebody I knew when I was 18 and then I knew him again when I was like 24. It was like someone consistent in my life.
Did he,
You remember? Yeah, I'll show you.
did he have, arms and legs and a torso and a head?
Yes, he
It was that one?
Yes.
Oh, well, great. It's like, yeah.
Did you meet him?
No, I did not meet him. Oh, but I remember you talking about him.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
And I remember when I had to disappear for conjugal visits.
yeah.
Like San Quentin Penitentiary. Great.
Because I just thought it was so weird.
Yeah, so I don't really remember anything about him except for like, please don't make any noise.
Yeah, because we would have full on dates at my house. Like he'd bring like Thai food over, we'd watch movies, and it'd be like full on. We were hanging out at my house, and then Jeff would be downstairs. But he was a nice guy. I still talk to him. He's a nice guy. I really like him.
Yeah, I don't really remember much about him.
Other than you hid from him, and you never met him.
Yeah, other than that.
All right, well, I have to actually go to my I'm going to the Keenan JC reality house, and I'm supposed to be there in 6 minutes, and it's about 6 minutes away, so I should probably get my butt moving. But final thoughts on ex-boyfriends of mine.
Most of them suck. A couple of them were okay.
Love that.
But they did create years worth of amazing stories. Because there's a whole bunch of other stories, by the way, that I can remember right now. Well, not a whole bunch, but at least 2. They weren't really boyfriends, but just guys that you hung out with.
Who?
There were like nothing I'd ever heard of.
Oh, maybe we can do a part 2 to this. If
Yeah.
you guys are interested in a part 2.
Definitely needs a sequel. Apparently.
Any advice on my future relationships, what I should and should not do?
This can probably take more thought than be allotted to my time that we have here today.
Well, maybe we'll do a part 2. Thumbs up this video if you want to see more. Thank you so much. I feel like this was like a talk show. Thank you for being a guest. You kind of were doing like a mukbang at the same time.
No. Indian food. It was that guy that your buddy's with would be psyched. What's his name?
Who?
The guy who eats the food all the time.
Oh, Nick Ocado. Yeah,
there
you were
you go.
kind of mukbanging.
I know.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We love gossiping about exes, and like I said, if you want to see like a part 2, I'm dying to know these stories you have. I want to know now too.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, sort of.
I need a thumbnail. Can you like move close here? Wait, what are you doing? Oh, I thought that was a knife.
I was like, because I'm eating and there's.
Hold on. Oh, because you're mukbanging? I'm trying to show my boots, and it's just not really working. I was like, oh, she dated who and did what?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Okay, we got it.
That was a real pose. I was like, wait, what are we supposed to be doing? You're like, that's perfect.
Okay.